Make sure you take a moment to gather your props, whether you have blocks or bolsters or couch pillows, blankets, whatever you have available.
Bath towel.
Bath towel, perfect. And we'll get started in just a moment, but landing in a comfortable seated position. Just finding that spot. And finding your breath and just noticing. Noticing how your breath feels as we land here to start class. Are you naturally breathing deeply, or is it more shallow? How does the air feel? Warm or cool? Are you breathing fast or slow? No judgment, again, just noticing as we settle in. And today, as we join together in class, we're going to continue our themes today, focusing on service, how we can be in connection by being of service to others. But in doing that, I want us to focus on our breath and also on the importance of self-care. And last week we talked about connection. And that connection is so important. Connection to each other and showing up here today. There is a lot in the world currently that feels pretty heavy. With illness, and distancing, and now violence on top of that. And I think one of the most important and profound ways we can connect is through shared breath. And in times like we're currently in, where there are diseases, there's an illness that takes away breath. There were people who have lost their life because of not being able to breathe through violence imposed. Breath becomes so powerful, and breathing together becomes almost an act of rebellion, a powerful act of rebellion. So today I want us all to keep very closely focused on that shared breath and our connection through breath. And we'll start the practice just by breathing together. You can keep your eyes closed if that's comfortable, or just have your gaze loosely in front of you, not focusing on anything in particular. And together we breathe in for a count of 6 and pause at the top of that. And then together, exhaling. Again, for a count of 6. And if the pacing doesn't feel right for you in this moment, just follow your own breath. With the inhale, pausing at the top of that inhale, and then exhaling. But together, again, breathing in, really filling the belly, filling the chest, filling ourselves with air, filling ourselves with that energy, that shared energy. Pausing and exhale. And 2 more times in this way together. Inhale, pause, and exhale. And once more, inhale, pause, and exhale. And now just coming back to your breath without trying to control it in any way in particular. Just breathing, perhaps in through the nose, out through the nose. And just noticing. And maybe having an intention or commitment to stay connected to that breath throughout practice today, and to keep checking in with your breath, because that really is the most important piece, the most powerful piece. So throughout our practice, as you move, you're just checking in and noticing and making sure that you're staying connected to that inhale and exhale. And knowing that no matter how each of us moves our physical bodies today and what that feels like, know that we are all breathing together. And that is a very powerful thing. And then as you're ready, we'll start to also invite in some movement. And you can keep your eyes closed here if they're closed, or start to open them. But with our breath and connected with our breath, we will start by inhaling, bringing our arms up. So arms overhead as we inhale. Nice and deeply, again, filling belly, filling chest. And then exhale, both hands to heart center. And in the same way, inhaling, arms up, reaching tall, nice straight back. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do 2 more times in this way. Inhaling up, nice and tall. Exhale, heart center. And 1 more time. Inhaling and exhale, heart center. This time, inhaling up, reaching tall, and then we will twist our whole body towards our right and bringing that left hand to the right knee, your right hand behind you, coming into a twist. And if it's comfortable, you can look over your back shoulder. If that feels like too much today for your neck, then just keep your head forward. But as you twist, on the inhale, focusing on lengthening. So you're in your twist, but as you inhale, focusing on lengthening, nice and tall, nice straight spine. And then on your exhale, focusing on the twist itself. So maybe easing a little further into the twist. And as the breath continues, again on the inhale, focusing on lengthening, and on the exhale, focusing on the twist. And then as you're ready, no rush, on an inhale, inhaling those arms nice and tall, back to center. And then on your next exhale, twisting to the opposite side. So left side or whatever the opposite side is for you. And then bringing that right hand to left knee, left hand behind you, propping you up. Inhale, lengthening, and exhale, twist. And then as you're ready, on an inhale, lengthening those arms up to the sky, and then coming through heart center and releasing. And then maybe some shoulder circles. Hands can be on your legs or on the ground, whatever's comfortable. Circles in one direction, and then switching gears, circling in the other direction, just loosening everything up. And then maybe some circles with your wrists, one direction, and then the other. And then inhaling, arms back up, and either keeping your hands together, or you can grab the left wrist with the right hand and just doing a little curve to the side. Like a C curve with your body, a nice stretch. Inhaling back to center and switching sides and going in the opposite direction. Back to center, one more time each way. Inhaling to center, the opposite direction. Inhaling back up and releasing. And then taking your time to come around to our table position. So on your hands and knees, so swinging your legs around. And again, you can absolutely stay right in your chair as well and have both feet on the ground and both hands on your knees. And if you are on the mat, coming to all fours, arms below, hands below shoulders, knees below hips. And we'll come to our cat-cows. So on an inhale, dropping your belly and opening your chest, leading with your chest. And then on the exhale, opposite direction. So dropping shoulders and hips and arching the back. Inhale, dropping belly, opening chest. And continue to flow. Exhale, arching back. Following your breath. So continuing this movement based on whatever pace your breath is currently. And that can be fast or slow or somewhere in between. And then you can invite in additional movement if you choose, or you can keep doing the cat-cow, but you could also maybe curve side to side, making a C with your spine. Maybe you do some circles or figure eights with your hips. Maybe back and forth. No right or wrong, just experiment a little and see how it feels today. And then landing back in tabletop, nice straight back. Breathing here for a moment, finding your inhale and exhale. Nice deep breaths. And then coming to our balance. So making sure you're firmly rooted in your table, and then inviting up your right arm forward and then your left leg back. And again, you can land here on your toes with the left leg, or you can try and lift that back leg as well. So again, here is absolutely fine, or try lifting. And as you're doing this, and it's challenging, don't hold your breath, continue that breath, focusing on the inhale and the exhale. And then landing back down, coming back to our table position, and then taking it to the other side. So left arm forward, nice and straight, right leg back or up, and focusing on your breath. And in life, it is those moments that are most challenging that we most tend to hold on to our breath and stop breathing or breathe shallow. But actually, those are the times we need that breath the most. And then you can release. So practicing in this controlled way where we're giving ourselves a little challenge, again, opposite side, so right arm, left leg. Practicing when we have intentional, controllable challenge is a great way to train ourselves to return to breath in challenging moments. And then releasing and coming to the other side. So left arm, right leg back, lift if that feels good, and breathing. The inhale and the exhale. Maybe try one more. Inhale and exhale, and then releasing. And we'll do one more each side with the option of the crunch that we have done before. And again, you don't have to add this piece, but you can. So beginning with the right arm, left leg back, up if you want to try that. And then bringing elbow and knee to meet and center. Straightening back out, and then landing. I'm taking a breath here, inhale and exhale. And then of course our other side. So left arm, right leg, lift if that feels good. Inviting in, crunch, elbow to knee, straightening back up, and then landing. Inhale and exhale. And then pushing back into our child's pose. So bringing the toes, your big toes together and pushing your hips back. And you can have your knees as close or as far apart as feels good. Just experiment with that a little bit. And then coming to land in your child's pose. And if you need, you can invite a prop, a block, or a pillow or a bolster under your head to help meet the mat. As you rest here, just reflecting and thanking yourselves, having gratitude for showing up here today, and recognizing the importance of self-care. Self-care is so fundamental, particularly in challenging times like we're currently in. And sometimes self-care gets a bad rap and it's viewed as selfish. But the self-care I'm talking about is fundamental. And it is what is so important in sustaining us to do the work that we need to do in this world. So coming here and connecting and breathing together is so important, both for our individual well-beings and our collective well-being, the well-being of the world. And there's so much evidence now that there is benefit to this. You know, there's research that shows that moving our bodies together releases endorphins and improves well-being, our capacity for positive emotions. And it also helps to minimize the negatives and stress. So this is an important tool that allows us to be well and to sustain in the world. So hold gratitude for yourself for showing up here and committing to this. Because in being together and breathing together, we are doing the work. Another deep inhale, really filling belly, filling chest, maybe noticing how it feels different in this crunched over position where you have pressure on your belly. Notice how breathing into the belly feels different. And then exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. And then as you're ready, rising back up to our tabletop, landing here, hands below shoulders, knees below hips. And we're going to do our thread the needle to help open up our shoulders. So again, we'll flow twice first and then we'll land. So on your inhale, inhaling your right hand up, reaching to the sky, and exhale, threading it through. On your next inhale, bringing it up to the sky again. On the exhale, threading that through. And one more time, inhaling up to the sky, and exhale, threading through, and then landing, if that feels comfortable, on your shoulder and on your cheek. Using props as needed. And if you're in your chair, you can also invite that right arm across your body if you're seated, and give yourself a big hug. Hug that arm into your body. And then as you're ready, on an inhale, inhaling that arm back up to the sky, and then landing. And then of course we'll do the other side. So taking that left hand or the opposite hand of whatever you just did, and inhale, bringing it up to the sky, exhale, threading it through. Inhaling it up to the sky, exhale, threading it through. Inhaling up to the sky, exhale, threading through, and landing if that feels comfortable. Landing on shoulder and the side of your left cheek, or if you're seated in the chair, again, bringing that left arm across your body, giving yourself a nice hug. Turning to your breath, your inhale and your exhale. One more inhale and exhale. And then finding your next inhale, inviting that arm up to the sky, reaching high, and then landing. Back in our tabletop, and then, perhaps here taking another child's pose, or just pushing back, landing for a moment, returning to your breath. The inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then as you're ready, we'll make our way back up. You'll come back up to table, and then we'll all make our way to standing. So however you find your way up there, making your way to a standing position, the top of your mat. And really setting up for that strong standing mountain position, as we did last week, rooting ourselves, grounding our feet into the mat, into the floor, having really engaged legs. Even in this pose, it doesn't perhaps look like we're doing a lot. It's absolutely an active pose. So grounding through the feet and then having active legs, pulling your muscles into your bone, activating both your lower legs and your upper legs, pulling muscles into your bones, pulling your legs as if you could pull them up into your hips, really engaging. Nice, strong pose. Straight spine, so stacking your vertebrae so you're nice and tall and straight. Your head is straight. Hands by the side. And then coming to your breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Again together. Inhale and exhale. And now together we will flow. So following our breath and rooted in our breath, on our inhale, we'll inhale our arms up, nice and tall. Exhale, folding forward. So bending over, dropping your head. Then on our inhale, coming to a halfway lift. So nice flat back. You can land your hands either on your shins or on your thighs. You want your back flat. Your eyes, your gaze should be towards the floor, just in front of your mat. And in your next exhale, we fold forward again. And inhale, rising up, arms reaching high. And then exhaling, hands to heart center. And then we'll continue to flow in this way, following the breath. So inhaling, arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhaling to flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reaching tall. And exhale, hands to heart center. And 2 more times we'll continue in this way. So inhaling, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms reaching to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. 1 more time. Inhaling, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rising. Exhale, hands to heart center. Landing here, connecting with your breath, maybe closing your eyes for a moment if that feels good, or just a loose gaze, not focusing on anything. And just noticing how your breath feels, maybe how that felt different than before starting our movement, or from noticing your breath at the beginning of class, and just noticing. As always, being researchers, taking in the data, noticing, and then just letting it go, not making a judgment, just noticing. And then as you're ready, releasing your hands, we're going to come into our warrior series, our strength series. But starting first, we can start with our chair pose. So sitting back into your imaginary chair, inviting your arms up. Landing here in strength and in balance. And then we can rise up, or you can step right from the chair to step your right foot back and come into our warrior one. So again, setting yourself up, your back foot is at a slight angle, your front foot is, the toes are facing forward, bending the front leg, your knee should be over your ankle, back leg is straight. Finding a position where your feet are far apart enough from each other that you feel stable. Really setting yourself up here. And for warrior one, our hips are facing forward. So landing in that position, feeling into your body, and then inviting your arms up. Warrior one. As always, connecting to our breath. And from here, we open up into our warrior two. So hips come to the side, arms are coming out, back arm straight out from your shoulder, front arm straight out from your front shoulder. Taking a peek back over that back arm to make sure it's where you think it is, not way low or way high, nice and straight. And then once you do that, bringing your gaze, bringing your eyes over that front middle finger. Back leg is straight, front leg is bent, knee over ankle. Nice and strong, warrior two. And this is a challenging series. So again, rooting in our breath, not holding on to breath. And as we've said before, if it becomes too challenging at any moment, just try straightening that front leg and then coming back in. And from here, we flip our front palm, dropping our back arm, reversing our warrior. Back leg still straight, front leg bent. Rooted in our breath. Then on an inhale, coming back, warrior two. From here, coming to our side angle, so bringing that forearm to the thigh, and then bringing your top arm up in a nice straight line over your ear. Breathing. Then inhaling back to warrior two. Nice deep inhale. And exhale. And then on an inhale, you can step back, both feet to the top of the mat. Wonderful job, such strong poses. Landing here, rooting through our feet. Just maybe noticing how you feel, how your body feels, how your breath feels in this moment. Maybe one side feels a little different than the other. Just noticing. Again, if nothing else, as we go through these strength poses, if you are doing your breath, you are absolutely doing it right. And then as you're ready, we'll do the other side, of course. So starting again, if you want to begin with a chair pose, sitting back into that imaginary chair, inviting your arms up. And then I'm going to turn sideways, but then stepping back, either straightening or stepping straight back from this with your left foot behind you and setting up in warrior one. So feet are a bit apart for balance. Back leg is foot is at a slight angle. Front foot straight. Back leg is straight. Front leg is bent. Knee over ankle. Inviting your arms up. Warrior one. Breathing. And then from here on your inhale, opening up and setting up your warrior two. So really coming into this very intentionally, making sure your feet are in the right spot for you. Front arm is coming straight out, back arm is coming straight out. Check that back arm. And then bring your gaze over that front middle finger. Strong warrior. And bring your attention to your breath, the inhale and the exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. And then flipping that front palm, dropping your back arm and reversing your warrior. And you can always straighten that front leg and then come back in. But reaching back to reverse the warrior. Again, always continuing to breathe, focusing on that inhale and exhale. Inhaling back up to warrior two. Landing in our breath. And then our side angle. So bringing the forearm to your front leg. And then a nice straight line with that top arm over your ear. And always fine tuning and adjusting, making sure that back leg is straight, front leg is bent. Can you bend it a little further? Landing in your breath. Then on an inhale, opening back up to warrior two. The inhale and the exhale. One more, inhale and exhale. And then on your inhale, stepping back up to the front of your mat. Landing in your mountain pose. Arms by your sides. Returning to your breath. Maybe together we take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Opening our mouth and letting it out, exhale. One more time in that way, inhaling through the nose. Filling belly, filling chest, opening mouth, exhale. And then we invite in some balance. So staying firmly rooted through your feet, grounded through the feet. Focusing on grounding through that left leg, inviting some lightness to the left, to the right leg. So we're going to come to our tree pose, and again, that can either be to your kickstand, bringing your foot to your lower leg, reaching down, bringing it higher up on the leg. Wherever you feel you're at today, you can have a chair nearby for balance if that's helpful. Perhaps you invite your hands to heart center. Rooting in the breath. Again, if the wind blows and your tree wobbles, just move with it. The tree falls over a bit, just come back in. Perhaps you grow your tree, arms reaching up to the sky. Rooted in your breath. One more deep inhale and exhale. And then releasing. Hands through heart center and release. Breath in and out. And then we invite the balance to the other side. So bringing lightness into that left foot, landing it wherever it's going to land for today. Inviting hands to heart center. Perhaps growing our tree. Maybe noticing that this side is even wobblier, or maybe it's more stable. And either way is absolutely okay. We have flexibility. We can shift. We can work to right ourselves when we topple a bit, but also knowing that there is no such thing as balance. We never achieve balance. It's always simply a pursuit and an ongoing practice. And hands through heart center, releasing and landing. Returning to our breath, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. And then, as is comfortable to you, finding your way to a seated position on the mat. So coming to a seat with your legs in front of you. We're going to do our forward fold. So bring in your props if you would like. Again, you might use a belt or a tie or a strap or a towel to loop that around your feet, as we've done before. Maybe you want to build up a nice bolster for today and just kind of come forward onto that. Finding a way that feels good, stacked, maybe two. Finding how you want to practice your fold today. And there's no right or wrong way, but we do want to lead with our chest. So starting with a very straight spine, straight back, both legs out in front of us. And then we come forward, leading with our chest and keeping the back as straight as possible. So you may notice that you don't actually go very far, but that is absolutely doing the pose right. And you don't want to bend over and roll your back just to get further down. You want to lead with your chest. So that might not be very far at all, but if you're breathing while you're doing this, you are doing the pose absolutely correctly. And sometimes it can help to close your eyes in this pose if that feels comfortable. You certainly don't have to, but I invite you to try that, because sometimes just shutting off that sense can help us just release a little further into the pose. So finding your forward fold for today. And just being present there in the fold for a few breaths. The inhale, the exhale. The inhale and exhale. And as you're ready on an inhale, rolling up, we're dropping your head and rolling up one vertebra at a time, coming to that tall spine, head coming up last. Nice tall seat. And then finding your bolster, so whether that's some towels rolled up or a bunch of pillows, bringing those pillows out in front of you, or towel or whatever it is, your bolster, and we're going to do an assisted child's pose. So stacking up that bolster however high you want. And what you do is you're going to bring that into your hips and bringing your knees out as far as feels comfortable. And ultimately you're going to be coming forward like in a child's pose, but instead of landing on the ground, you're going to land on your stack, whatever that stack is. So play around with that for a moment to find something that feels comfortable and feels good. Again, coming straight forward onto the bolster. Hands can be right by your side or by your legs. Just find what feels good. Land here, bringing one cheek to your bolster. And landing. Closing your eyes if that feels comfortable. Returning to breath. Holding gratitude for your breath. For your commitment to show up here today, to engage in self-care, in spite of, or more importantly, perhaps because of all that is going on around us. Focusing on your breath. Using this pose as your self-care. And in these times, self-care becomes so important. Particularly in doing the work of kindness and doing the work of change. And I'm going to read a few statements here. And this is from Justin Michael Williams' book, Stay Woke. And as you're resting now, if you haven't, you can perhaps flip your other cheek to your bolster, landing here, just on the other side of the cheek. And Justin Michael Williams says, "We need you so grounded that we feel safe following your lead. We need you so centered that you never stray from your values and your vision. We need you so rested that you do not lash out at others during times of stress. We need you to shine your light so brightly that anyone who is lost can find you. You are a lighthouse. Your healing is essential to the liberation of the people." Maybe say to yourself, "I am light." If we think about self-care in that way, it is not selfish at all. It becomes, in fact, a fundamentally important act, a radical act. And then as you're ready, releasing from this supported child's pose, pushing up. Maybe moving your bolster and your props aside a bit. As always, rooting in the breath, the inhale and the exhale. And then together we come to lying on our backs. Bringing your feet to the mat, Knees pointed towards the ceiling. Taking your time to get here, to land here. Breathing. Breathing again. And then inviting your right ankle up over your left thigh. And you can land right here for today, or perhaps you invite your hands around that left thigh, pulling both of your legs in toward your chest. Both feet are flexed. Shoulders dropping to the mat. Again, if it feels comfortable in these more restorative poses, you can invite your eyes to shut and turn off that sense. Or you can keep them open, not focusing on anything in particular. Rooting yourself in your own breath. Knowing that we are all here moving together and breathing together. And as you're ready, hugging both knees into the chest, maybe rocking a little side to side or back to forth, or doing some circles with your knees, one direction and the other. And then, of course, landing and doing the pose on the opposite side. Inviting the left ankle up over the right. Staying here. If you're in a chair, you can certainly do this seated as well. And if you choose, you can invite both knees into the chest, wrapping your hands around that right thigh. Both feet flexed. Shoulders drop towards the mat. And breathing. And then as you're ready, hugging in to the chest, maybe rocking a little. And landing your feet, and we're gonna come into our inversion. So our feet up, and remember you can just do this straight from the mat, or you can invite a big pillow in under your hips, or a block under your hips, or blocks, or whatever feels good and supportive for you. But if you're going to bring something under your hips, you land both feet in the mat and knees up, and then push your hips up and put those props underneath. Get your pillows under there or blocks, whatever you're going to use. And then once you get them under there, right under your hips, make sure it feels good, and then drop your hips back down, and then inviting your feet up to the ceiling. You can always do this as feet up the wall too, if you happen to be near a clear wall. Turning to the side, shimming your feet up. You can also, if you have a chair nearby, you could
Just rest your legs on that chair, on the seat of the chair in front of you, or couch, or whatever's near you. And try different things. Again, the main goal here, not that we have a goal per se, but the idea is to get those feet up higher than your heart. This is a great stress reducing position. Gets us going in a direction that we aren't normally in. Throughout our day, at least I know throughout my day, I don't normally flip upside down. So it's good to do this. This can also be great to do at night before sleep. It can help calm the system, reduce stress. As always, rooted in our breath. And then as you're ready, bringing the feet down. If you have something under you, landing your feet on the mat, pushing the hips up to bring out the bolster or prop or whatever you have. Landing back down, maybe giving your feet, your knees one last hug in, little roll. Maybe a full body stretch, arms out overhead, feet out in front of you. And then we're gonna come to a relaxation. So you can either come to your relaxation pose, either on your back, or perhaps flipping over and trying a rest on the belly. Or if you would like, you can try the heart opener we did last week. So bringing your bolster, your props behind you, your roll of towels or your pile of pillows, and bringing that behind you up to your hips, rolling back to lay on it. And again, adjusting until you feel comfortable. It shouldn't feel like too much of a stretch. It should just feel comfortable and relaxing. And then bringing your hands out to your sides, palms facing up. You can stay here through our meditation and the end of the class, or at any point, if you are on the bolster and you would like to, you can simply roll to the side and push your bolster to the side and come to lying on your back. But make adjustments and do what you need to do to feel comfortable, to feel relaxed, to invite integration of your practice from today. And your feet fall apart, perhaps. Maybe if it felt good like last week, inviting the soles of the feet together, knees falling open. You can adjust how far your feet are from your body to control the intensity of the opening of the hips there. And we'll just move your bolsters, move your position. Find a calm position to land in. And as you land there and find that, for our final meditation, I'm going to share a poem, part of the same book by Justin Michael Williams. And it's called I Am Enough. Little boy, don't cry. You've been in pain. Enough. Little girl, don't fight. You're finally safe. Enough. One day I'll look into your eyes
Show you don't need to hide behind disguise. Spread your wings, you're terrified. Don't be afraid, you're born to fly. I'm by your side. I am enough. I am golden, baby, yeah. I am enough. I am enough. Little girl, it's all right. You've taken the blame. Enough. Little boy, don't hide. You've been ashamed. Enough. One day, I'll look into your eyes, show you you don't need to hide behind disguise. Spread your wings, you're terrified. Don't be afraid, you're born to fly. I'm by your side. I am enough. I am golden, baby, yeah. I am enough. I am enough. If I can feel this, all this emotion, will it be poison or will I grow? Can you heal this or am I broken? Hear me screaming, make me whole. I am enough. I am golden, baby, yeah, I am enough. I am enough. You are enough. You are golden, baby, yeah, you are enough. You are enough. We are enough. We are golden, baby, yes. We are enough. We are enough. We are enough. And then as you're ready, returning intentionality to your breath, awareness to that breath. Perhaps inviting in some small movements to begin. Fingers and toes, hands and feet. And taking your time to make your way to a comfortable seated position. If you're on a bolster or a prop, rolling to the side and then pushing that out of the way. If you're on your back, maybe rolling to the side and resting there for a moment. No rush, just finding your way back up to a seated position where we all began together. And we'll close this practice with 2 shared breaths. If it feels comfortable, maybe bringing your hands to heart center. And together, we inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Thank you all for being here today, for your presence, for your commitment to your self-care, and for the connection that has carried us through many weeks now, but is such a tremendous anchor. Thank you all. Namaste.
Namaste.